power outages remain. At its peak, the storm knocked out power to more than 800,000 homes. Fox Weather is actually tracking the number of people still in the dark. Currently, more than 373,000 homes and businesses are still waiting for the heat and the lights to go back on. Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, and California are the most affected, underscoring once again that the nation's energy grid could use support from all forms of energy, especially amid the torrid build-out of AI data centers, which is a huge suck of energy. According to Bloomberg New Energy Finance, U.S. data center power demand could reach 106 gigawatts by 2035. That's roughly triple from the 35 gigawatts back in 2024. Last Thursday at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, Tesla CEO Elon Musk warned that, quote, we're very soon going to be producing more microchips than we can turn on, and that the limiting factor will be not enough electricity. Musk, who of course runs Tesla Energy, which sells solar panels and a solar roof system, says solar energy will be central to overcoming that constraint. But the solar world faces its own cloud right here in the U.S. Listen.
Unfortunately, in the U.S., the tariff barriers for solar are extremely high, and that makes the economics of deploying solar so artificially high because China makes almost all the solar.
Even before Musk weighed in, investors have been piling into solar stocks. This year, you look at Sunrun, up 16%. It's up triple-digit percentage over the past year. Enphase up 25% this year. Nextracker up 36% this year. Here to shine a light on the solar industry, what's going on with the nation's power grid and more is Sunrun CEO Mary Powell here in a Fox Business exclusive. Yeah, I just want to give that number. Over the past year, your stock is up 123%. What is the driver here?
Well, I mean, Liz, the driver is that Americans need a form of reliable energy to power their homes and their lives. I mean, that's first and foremost. And they need stability. It's not just that they need reliability as evidenced by these massive outages and the storms, right? But they also need control over their pocketbook. Increasingly, people are looking at ways that they can lock in pricing and lock in stability. So what we sell, I often say what we sell to Americans is peace of mind. And then you layer on top of that what's happening from a grid perspective with AI demand, with our energy capacity needs, and the fact that we need every electron we can bring onto the system. And that is, as you know, where Sunrun really has developed a really significant niche for ourselves as the largest distributed power plant.
When a potential customer says to you, what do you mean stability when the sun isn't shining during the snowstorm and the rain and sleet storm we just had? How does solar work or not? What is your answer?
Well, my answer is, first and foremost, we are about providing energy. So we a couple of years ago, made a very hard pivot to being a storage first company. So we are attaching storage in, the vast majority of the times now for customers. And that's so cool because then the answer is, oh my gosh, Liz, don't worry, because your solar is filling up your storage and then it's protecting you from outages. So it is really an ability to dramatically improve the life of the customer, but that is also the secret sauce for the grid.
Let's talk about your customer additions, because I said, well, wait a minute. She can come on and say whatever she wants, but I need to see what kind of customer additions and the trend that you've seen year over year over year. And here we go. Back in 2022, you had 797,000 Sunrun customers. And here, as of third quarter of last year, 1.14 million. So the push is there. Here's the question that relates back to what Elon Musk was saying. We have tariffs on solar panels that come into this country. You source some of your panels from China, I believe.
We do not. No. And we really source heavily domestically. We started making that change a number of years ago. We definitely don't get all of our panels domestically, but we moved away from China a number of years ago.
Okay. So where do you get your panels that are not made here?
Southeast Asia.
And there's still some tariffs on those.
Yes. For sure.
Because Fed Chair Jerome Powell just talked about tariffs being a one-time thing. Here's how he put it just about half an hour ago. Let's listen, then you can react.
We will see the effects of of tariffs flowing through goods prices, peaking, and then starting to come down, assuming there are no new major tariff increases that are begun. And that's what we expect to see over the course of this year. If we see that, if we see that, that would be something that tells us that we can loosen policy.
President Trump has made no secret of the fact that he thinks solar and wind are, I think he said in Davos, for stupid leaders and stupid countries. Well, a lot of his friends in Texas actually have solar. A lot of people in New York. I mean, it's really spreading, is it not? That said, he pushed coal during this most recent snowstorm. So how would you, if you had him in front of you, you had the opportunity to talk to the president, what would you say about the tariffs on solar panels?
Well, what I would say is what we are doing is bringing independence to Americans. And that, like, there's nothing more precious than that. And we are helping to build a grid that can be more energy independent because, you know, during major storms and events, sometimes those plants go offline. There is nothing more reliable. I ran a utility for 20 years. There is nothing more reliable than the kind of distributed power plant that we're building one home at a time for America's grid. So I would just really emphasize the importance of this for sure. I mean, the point, do tariffs add cost? Of course they do. For us, the really important thing, though, is that we are selling against utility power where the prices are skyrocketing.
They are.
And reliability is going down.
Well, is your price going down, the price of solar energy?
I would say the price, you know, our prices are stable for our customers, and what we provide is stability for them as they look to the future. So again, it's the only way that they have to take control, Liz, at a very personal level.
I mentioned Texas. You have a partnership with NRG Energy and Tesla to support the Texas power grid with residential solar plus energy, battery power as well. It really feels like the governor, Greg Abbott, has been very supportive of check all the boxes energy.
Yes, 100%. What we're doing in Texas is really exciting. But again, we dispatched just this year, Liz, 416 megawatts of energy back to the grid. That's the program we did with Tesla in California was enough to power half of San Francisco. And as we know, San Francisco had a couple problems this summer, right? So what we're doing is delivering energy, whether it's Texas, California, New York, you know, all over the country, we're dispatching energy back to the grid in a very powerful way.
The solar tax credit that allowed homeowners to claim up to, I believe it was 30% of installation costs on new clean energy, that ended last year. It ended with the big, beautiful bill. What kind of hit have you seen from that?
For Sunrun, a very small part of our business was through cash and loan. So I would say less than 5%. So for us, it actually put us in a really important position for Americans because we're providing our products still for a lot of those customers that now cash and loan feel out of reach. So in terms of what we do, we're in a very strong position to continue to help Americans all across the country and, again, supply energy back to the grid.
Mary Powell of Sunrun, it's a good time when you're a CEO and your stock is up more than 100% over the past year.
It is.
Well, it just feels like there's a lot of momentum in the entire sector at the moment. Investors appear to be interested in choosing these names. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.